So Buddha. And zoom. Yes. Zoom so they can see the questions. The questions come out. Yes. Okay. Yeah, this is ordinary level mathematics with tutor Louis Quad on my algebra exercise 1 part 2. The time was 40 minutes. It was written in June 2021. It is for those who are in JC, junior ordinary level mathematics. Okay. Good morning, and when today they were supposed to answer all questions. Coming on to question 1, it is saying simplify this 0.85 minus 0.6, 1/4 plus a half multiplied by 3, 2 and 2/5 times 1 and 2/5, giving your answer as a common fraction in its lowest terms. Okay. Getting on to part A of my question 1, we're supposed to say 0.85 minus 0.6. As we all know, if we are adding or subtracting decimal numbers, our comma should be on the same line. Okay. 8 minus 6 here we get 2. And you get 0.25. But remember, it is said giving your answer as a fraction. So you say 0.25 as a fraction is 25 over 100. And then in its lowest term, we divide it by 25, the numerator and denominator. Our final answer will be 1/4. Okay. Getting on to part B, it is saying a half plus 1/4 multiplied by 3. Here, what we'll do is that we'll first simplify inside the bracket, and then we'll say 2 into 4, we'll get a 2 by 1, plus 4 into 4 is 1 by 1. Okay. Then we'll get 2 plus 1 over 4. This will give us a 3 over 4 multiplied by 3, and 3 by 3, our final answer will be 9 over 4. Okay. Getting on to the last part of question 1, it is saying, our part C is saying 2 and 2/5 times 1 and 2/3. Okay. Here we put them as mixed fraction. 2 times 5, a 10, get 12 over 5 multiplied by 1 by 3, that's a 3 plus 2, 5 over 3. Simplifying further, say 3 into 3, 1, into 12, 4, here 1, here also a 1. Then 4 times 1 will be a 4, 1 times 1 will be 1. I'll get a 4 over 1, which is numerically a 4. So that's it for part 1. We'll get a quarter for my part C, then part A 1/4, then part B 9/4. Getting on to question number 2, it was about equations. Part A, the equation is saying 4y minus 3 equal to 9 plus 2y. Okay, remember from algebra, when you're solving this kind of equations, we'll put the term with the unknown on the one side, and then this 2y crosses the equal sign, it becomes a negative 2y, 9, and this comes here, minus 3, we get plus 3. 4y minus 2y, we get a 2y, then dividing both sides by 2 to get my y is 6. Okay, getting on to the part B. Part B, of my number 2 here, this one was saying 8x plus 7 is equal to 6x minus 3. Okay, so 8x, this 6x will come here, and we get 7 minus 3, and the 7 will cross over. 8x minus 6x is a 2x, minus 3 and a minus 7, it's a minus 10. We divide both sides by x, we will get a minus 5 is our answer. Okay, now getting on to the part C, part C of number 2, it's an equation involving fractions. So we're saying 2k minus 2k over 3 minus 2 is equal to k over 5. So here is what we do. We get rid of the fractions by finding the common, by multiplying each term by the common denominator. So here we have 3, 1, and 5. Our common denominator is 15. Multiplying each term by 15, we get minus 2 by 15 is equal to k over 5 by 15. Okay. Here we get a 5, 3 into 15, here we get a minus 30, here we get a 3, okay? So we say 5 by 2k is a 10k, right? Then minus 2 by 15 is a minus 30, equal to 3k, okay? Now I'll say 10k minus this 3k is equal to a 30. I've put the k factors to the one side. 10k minus 3k, you get a 7k equal to 30. Dividing both sides by 7, my k is 30 over 7. Okay, that's it for part C. Now, getting on to part D of my question 2, it is also an equation involving fractions. Okay, the same k over 4 minus 3 is equal to 2k over 5. Likewise, on this part D, we are going to multiply each term by a common denominator, which is 20. 20 is multiplying k over 4 minus 3 is multiplying 20 is equal to 2k over 5 multiplied by 20 again. Simplifying 4 into 20, that's 5. Then here we get a minus 16. Here we get a 4. 20 divided by 5 is a 4. 5 by k here we get a 5k minus 16 is equal to 2k times 4. I'm going to get an 8k. Okay, now grouping the k factors on one side so we can find the value of k. This 60 goes to my right, and say minus 3k is equal to 60, because 5k minus 8k is a negative 3k. Dividing both sides by negative 3, my k is equal to minus 20. Okay, so this is it for part D of the question number 2, algebra exercise 1 part 2. Getting on to question number 3, it is saying, question number 3 is saying remove brackets and simplify. So we are saying 3a, we have 3c minus d and then m minus n plus 3c minus d 2m minus 3n. That is the part A of my question 3. Here what you are supposed to do is to remove these brackets and simplify. But if you look closely at the question, you can see that this part and this part is a common factor, which is 3c minus d. So what we do here is we factor out 3c minus d instead of getting to the tiresome method of expanding these brackets. We just factor out. If we factor out here, we are left with m minus n. The plus sign, we still maintain him. And then here, if we factor out, we are left with 2m minus 3n. Okay. Now, simplifying further inside the bracket of the factored out expression, we will say m minus n plus 2m minus 3n. Okay, these can add further. They can add further. Then it will be now m plus 2m, we'll get a 3m minus n by minus 3 minus n minus 3n, we get a negative 4n. Okay, so the question saying remove brackets and simplify. We can now remove these simplified brackets. You can say 3c 3m minus 4n minus d 3m minus 4n. We get 9cm minus 12cn minus 3gm plus 4dn. Okay, so as we can see, we cannot further simplify these terms because they are all unlike terms. So this will be our final answer. We have removed the brackets and we have simplified. Okay, getting on to part 4, part B of question number 3. Part B of question number 3, it is saying 4m minus 3n squared. So here, this square will mean that the bracket is being multiplied twice. So here we then do our usual expansion, whereby this term multiplies everything there on the second bracket, and this term multiply everything on the second bracket also. Okay. So here we'll get 16m squared minus 12n m minus 12mn plus 9n squared. So 16m squared minus 24mn plus 9n squared. This will be my final answer. Remember, the question is saying remove brackets and simplify. This cannot simplify further. Okay, cannot simplify further. So we'll end there. Okay, then the part C was saying 11x squared, remove brackets and simplify, where we have 11x squared, x bracket 3x plus 2 here. So what we will do is we'll simplify, we'll remove these brackets. Minus x times 3x, we get minus 3x squared, minus x times 2, we'll get a negative 2x. These two can add up each other because they are in the power of 2 with the variable x, so we'll get 8x squared. If you say 11 minus 3, then minus 2x. These ones cannot add each other anymore, so we'll leave our answer as that. Getting on to part D of my question number 3 is like this. So remember, the question is saying remove brackets and simplify this one. So we'll remove this bracket by multiplying with a negative. This is a negative 1. Usually mathematics, we don't write this 1, right? So minus 1 times 5x, we get minus 5x, minus 1 times 3, we get minus 3. Okay, now we'll say 9x minus 5x minus 3. What do we get? We get a 4x minus 3. This cannot simplify further, so we'll end there.